Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a process video. What? I know. It's been so long. Pretty much forgot how to do these, so I don't know. This one's probably going to be pretty rough. I'm going to just ease back into things. Been kind of working on putting together this page for a week now as I pop in and out of life and college and all the things that are going on, but I have about 2 hours before I need to leave here for class again. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to quit just trying to think about how I want to do it. And I'm just going to put stuff on the paper. And I don't know, this might be the worst page I've ever created in my life because it just it feels so weird to be Bible journaling. I know that sounds odd probably to some of you, but I need it. I need to get into this space and just spend some time. So we're going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to real quick kind of talk to you about what I'm going to do, and then I'll put you on fast forward, and then I'm going to kind of share a life update with you guys while this is happening on screen. I don't think I'm going to do anything crazy that I've never done before. And so if you have questions, you can leave those in the comments, but I just want to kind of update you because I know not everybody follows me over on Instagram. So a lot of you that aren't following on Instagram don't have any idea what's going on, and not that anybody really cares, but some of you do care, and so I want to kind of update you and share on those updates. So what I'm working on today is I am working through Behold the Lord from ByTheWell4God. There are just a few, a handful of these kits available in the shop the last I checked. So that will be linked down below for you guys. I did do an unboxing of this release, so you can find that here on my channel as well. And I'm going to be journaling in my interleaved Bible. This is a Bible that has a blank page in between every page of text. And I know that the new kit is right around the corner. It should be releasing, I think, either later this week or next week. I'm journaling day one. We're starting right from the beginning. That's just how things are in my life right now. So I'm going to be journaling in Psalm 95. That was one of the prompted readings for us for day one. And I thought that was really good. It'd be a really good place for me to journal out some prayers. And that's specifically what is being talked about here on day one, is kind of the direction of our prayers and kind of shifting that focus, maybe for some of us. I really appreciate this start to the devotional because I actually just had somebody yesterday ask me, a classmate came up to me and was knew I'm a Christian, and was hey, I have a question for you. How is your faith so strong with everything going on in your life? Because a lot of people know what's going on with us right now. And this is somebody we've been in classes for a few semesters now. And so he even didn't know about all the big things that have been happening, just kind of the little things that have been happening in my life. And so it was noticed, that he's you always come in with a smile on your face. And how do you do it? And I was I know this is the Sunday school answer, but prayer. And all the years I've been a Christian, I know that that's been told to me over and over and over again, the importance of prayer. But specifically the last 4 years, but more so the last 6 months with everything going on with my son, I have really dedicated myself and been intentional about praying several times every single day. I mean, it's just constant for me now. And that is honestly where my peace comes from. I can't even explain how it works. I can't. You just have to experience it for yourself. And so part of that shift has been, I always start out my prayers with praising God for who he is, for the things that he has done, not just for me and in my life, but just in general. And that just kind of gets me in a good heart position, reminds me of what is important. And then I go to him, of course, with my laundry list of petitions that I have nowadays. But just this constant acknowledging who God is, and being in awe of that. And so I love that that's kind of the start of day one. And so I'll be journaling in Psalm 95 to kind of reflect on that. And then I'll leave myself some prayer journaling room. So I have gone ahead and pulled out a few different things. I'll mention them now just because you'll see them pop in throughout the video. I try to do as much prep ahead of time for this video so it wasn't too long. We'll see what happens. So I have a few of the die cuts from the kit. I can't remember if this is an add-on or the one that comes with the kit. I'm not sure, but I have a couple of those pieces. I did go ahead and just create, I wanted some bits and pieces to layer. So I used, I don't even see it right here. Oh, yes. The planner punch board from We Are Memory Keepers. They have these inserts. They do like the spiral and disc punches. And so I just did that and just punched some of the patterned paper right here from the release. So you can see I've used it for all kinds of things. So I just, you know, a little bit of layering. So you get that vintage look without the vintage smell. If you know, you know. So I'm creating that. Some pieces that I created ahead of time, I mentioned in the unboxing video that I had prepped some things ahead of time. This was just some cardstock sprayed with frayed burlap distress spray stain and just made a bunch of different labels and things like that. And then I will link the process video for this down below. It's not one of mine. I found it from another talented artist here on YouTube. She had created these little paint swatch cards as like ephemera pieces. And so I had started working on them during that unboxing video. You saw them kind of unfinished in this kind of state. But I went ahead and finished them, and I actually swatched them using the suggested Neocolor 2 colors. You can find those recommended colors over on ByTheWell4God's Instagram page. If you scroll back a little bit in their feed, they have a post that has like a carousel post with multiple pages, and it's got gelato colors, distress colors, Neocolors, all kinds of different mediums in the suggested colors to coordinate with this kit. So I just scribbled a little bit of this out on, you know, a block or a palette, picked it up with my paintbrush, and then painted in those swatches. And so now they're swatches that I know will coordinate with the release. And you can see all the details about how to make this in that other gal's video. So I'll link that down below. But I just thought it would be a fun little piece to add. I had shown how to use the fabric strips to create these big fluffy bows. So I used one of those to create a bow. And then I pre-stamped some things for my title. So I used the new Nantucket Alpha. This was the Alpha that was released with this new release. And this is a big 6x8 set, and so I stamped those out again on this paper. That way everything kind of coordinates, and then fussy cut them out. And then I'm going to pair it with this Alpha. This is from, Son of God, maybe? I don't know, one of the most recent devotional kits. This Alpha came in that kit, and it's a scripty Alpha. So I wanted to kind of mix and match those two for my title. And then I have some more labels that I pre-cut using some Tim Holtz dies. Everything will be linked down below for you guys. In the unboxing, I had mentioned these like faux enamel pieces that I had created. Again, this was inspiration from another YouTuber, so I will link her video down below. And just some other little bits and bobs. We'll see if I remember the layout that I was going for, because it's been even a few days since I've walked in here to do this. I also have some cheesecloth. So I love the mummy cloth from Tim Holtz, but that is only seasonal. I'm trying to find my packet. Hold on. Okay, this one here. This is the mummy cloth from Tim Holtz. It's seasonal around Halloween time, and it is like strips of cheesecloth that is not tightly knit together. So I do have a few packages of this, and it is this kind of off-white color, and it's great. But I wanted to give you guys another option, and I also wanted something, you know, maybe more cost-effective because you get more this way. So I found this at Hobby Lobby. Over in the sewing section was this cheesecloth, and it is that same like wide weave cheesecloth. It's not a tight cheesecloth, and it was $8 for, what is it, a billion yards? 6 yards of this. So it is white rather than cream, but I did that intentionally because then I can color it. So that is what I did. I wasn't sure which one that I was going to use. I got this tip from Taryn, Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, using like a little Tupperware container. What I'll do is I will spray the colors in here. So for this one, I did a mix of fired brick and gathered twigs to get this color here. So I spray some in there. I put the cheesecloth in there. I'll even spray it again. Sometimes I'll add some water in there too, just so that it, you know, absorbs well. And then you just shake it. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. And that is a really nice, no fuss, no mess way to color your ribbons and fabrics and cheesecloth and things like that. So this one was tattered rose, and then this one was fired brick and gathered twigs. You may have to like, you know, kind of pull it apart, spray it again. You do it a couple times and it's not perfect. I mean, if I really worked at it, I could get it more even, but I didn't care about that. This is just going to be layering bits. So you might see that in the video. I pulled out a few stickers. I think this was from my order. So this was like a freebie with the order. I've got some stencils that I'm going to use some grit paste through, I think. And then for stamps for the background, I pulled out seashells by the seashore. And then I also pulled out bubbles. So this is supposed to mimic bubble wrap. And so I thought that would be a really good bubbly texture in the background. So we'll kind of see where that leads. I know that I did this for, oh, I was going to do some die cuts. That's what I got this for. So this is some of the mixed media paper from scrapbook.com. I recently tried this out. Tiffany Solorio here on YouTube and Instagram. She's amazing. If you don't follow her, she had suggested this mixed media paper. So I picked it up. It does come in a few different sizes. So depending, you know, on what you think you'll use, I got these two to begin with. It is a really, really nice quality mixed media paper. This is much thicker than the Canson mixed media pads that you can get from like Walmart. This is more like a heavyweight cardstock, but it takes inks and sprays and things really well. So I'm going to make like a custom colored paper using some distress sprays, and then I'm going to die cut from that just to create some kind of kelpy looking greenery to kind of build up my cluster. So that is kind of the direction that I'm hoping to go. We will see. I don't know, it might end up just being something totally different by the time we're done, but let me go ahead and put you guys you know what? Let's read Psalm 95 together and then we'll move in. So journaling in Psalm 95, I'm reading from, I believe this is the ESV translation, says, "Oh, come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Let us come into his presence with thanksgiving. Let us make a joyful noise to him with songs of praise. For the Lord is a great God and a great King above all gods. In his hand are the depths of the earth, the heights of the mountains are his also. The sea is his, for he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. O come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker, for he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand. Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts, as is Meribah, as on the day of Massah in the wilderness, when your fathers put me to the test." My contacts are fogging up. And when your fathers put me to the test and put me to the proof, though they had seen my work. For 40 years I loathed that generation and said, "They are a people who go astray in their heart, and they have not known my ways. Therefore I swore in my wrath, they shall not enter my rest." So starting out really great, awesome, just praising God for who he is, you know, the creator, all powerful God. But then there is a heavy warning in there that, you know, when he calls you, you answer, because there will be a time where you run out of time for that. So really like that passage there. So let me go ahead, put you guys on fast forward, and we will put together this page and I'll kind of update you on everything that's been going on. All right, so in between the start of this video and me doing this voiceover, another week has passed. So it's in total, it's taken about 2 weeks to finish this page. So you might notice some changes in the lighting, whether I'm wearing my rings or not. It has been a process, struggle bus, you guys. But before we jump into live stuff, I do want to just say real quick on screen, I am laying down a layer of white acrylic gesso onto this page with a palette knife. I am not doing this as a page prep because of bleed through. I'm doing this more just to have some texture on the page before I go in and create my background. Now, it does kind of do double duty and it protects from bleed through, but I'm not laying like a really consistent layer down. If you're worried about bleed through, you want to make sure that you either apply 2 layers of this with like a paintbrush or a card. That way you get really consistent coverage. But like I said, that's not what I was worried about. I was worried about texture. So
I'm going to let that play on screen. If you have any questions about the process that you see, make sure you leave those comments down below and I will answer those. But I just wanted to take a few minutes to kind of update you on things. For those of you who are not following on Instagram, even just in this last week between the start of the video and now, more has happened in our life. And so to catch up from the very beginning, for those of you who didn't know, back in October, well, I guess even before that. So I started going back to school last spring. So last year, going back to school to get a degree in commercial art, focusing on graphic design. So I have been working on that for the last year. I have one more semester to go. I'll graduate in December with my degree in that. And I've been taking 12 to 17-ish, 16, 17 units a semester and to finish that. So that in itself was busy enough. I already was not able to create as much here as I wanted because of that. But in October, my 16-year-old son, Connor, had a seizure at school. He ended up spending about a week in the children's hospital getting a diagnosis. He was diagnosed with epilepsy disorder. But in the course of the testing to diagnose him for that, they happened to find thyroid cancer, totally unrelated, happened to find it very, very early. So it was a small tumor, but because it was found so early, we've been on the struggle to find a surgeon that would do a more conservative surgery. We did not want his entire thyroid taken out at this point. And several doctors had told us it wasn't necessary to remove the whole thing. So we have been all over California trying to track down good doctors and surgeons for him. We have landed at Cedars-Sinai down in LA. He'll be having surgery to remove part of his thyroid in, I guess, about 10 days from the time I'm doing this voiceover. So the end of April, he'll be having that surgery. So epilepsy, cancer, and then in March, he broke his hand at school. It took him about a month to get us into ortho, and in that time, the bone displaced, and so then he had to have hand surgery. So 2 days ago, so in between the start of this video and now, he had surgery on his hand to have a pin placed. He will have to go in and have that pin removed 3 days after his thyroid surgery. So it has just been, as you can imagine, chaos. I mean, just dealing with the logistics of juggling, all these different doctor's appointments for all these different things that are unrelated. On top of that, they found an abnormality in his spine on his MRI. He's been having some pain in his legs and some deficits. Since that seizure, they now have attributed that to whatever this was they found on the MRI. Again, totally unrelated to everything else. So he'll be having to follow up with a neurosurgeon to see if he needs surgery on that as well. So that's like 3 or 4 major diagnoses, all separate from each other, all within 6 months. So this kid has just been through the ringer. He was on track to get his pilot's license next year, and then he was going to go into the military to be an airplane mechanic, and all of that has had to be scrapped because of the epilepsy and cancer. He can't be a pilot and he can't go in the military. And so we have the logistics of juggling school and doctor's appointments and trying to find good quality care while navigating the emotional distress of just the upheaval of our lives. I mean, we've just been completely turned upside down, and it's been chaos. And so I know many of you have been aware. We want to continue to say thank you for all of the prayers and messages that we've received from everybody. I feel so bad because I know so many of you have been accustomed to there being a lot of content, right? Like I was producing 5 to 6 videos a week at one point for you guys. And for the last year, especially, but especially the last 6 months, that has been diminished quite a bit. And so I know that there has been some confusion and some questions about where I am. Am I still Bible journaling? Yes, I am. We just have had a lot on our plate, and we have seen lots of good moments. God has worked in some truly tremendously amazing ways over these last 6 months with my son, but there's also been some extremely difficult, dark moments also, as you can imagine. And so I've been sharing that whole story over on Instagram. I have a Connor update story highlights over on Instagram at LindsayDecor413. So you can kind of catch up and follow the whole process over there if you want to. So I do want to say we really appreciate your guys' prayers. That's what we are number one asking for, is just prayers as we continue through this journey with him. But many have asked how they can support us in other ways. And so my husband did go ahead and set up a GoFundMe for Connor. We do have insurance to cover these things, but we had a deductible last year, a deductible this year, and then we have a percentage that we have to pay for every single copay, visit, surgery. I had to make a deposit for the surgery this week. Like, it's just bills coming out of our ears. And so we did meet the initial goal. That goal that was set on GoFundMe covered the deductible for last year and the deductible for this year, but there is still gas, hotel, copays, all of that. We know that God will provide, and we know that he is faithful in that. And so if you feel like God is laying it upon your heart to be a part of that provision, then I have that GoFundMe linked down below. But please, I know things are super crazy right now for everybody. And so, first and foremost, we just ask for your prayers and grace during this time as we are a little bit more absent. Things are just look a little bit different around here. But again, if you feel led, there is that GoFundMe, and we just want to say thank you ahead of time for those that have donated or will donate. You have taken such a tremendous load off my shoulders. It's about 6 months I had not slept all night long, and I was able to sleep all night for the first night the other night, having some bills paid. Like, I'm getting joy out of calling and paying bills. So thank you guys for helping support us that way. That's something that you don't want to have to be worrying about how to pay for things for these doctors when you're taking care of your kid that has cancer. Like, that's just so many different aspects of this that I had never even dreamed as being parts of this that we are navigating. So thank you guys for supporting us. And I just wanted to, I know this isn't the typical process video, but I felt like I owed it to you guys to just kind of explain what's going on, because as people pop in, maybe don't follow me on Instagram, there have been some comments, both nice and not so nice, like, where are you, what are you doing, do you even Bible journal anymore, are you like, were you just trying to sell stuff? Like, I do still do unboxing videos every month because I do have those agreements with the companies that I've been working with, and so I try to be faithful to those agreements in doing those unboxings and at least getting that a little bit up in my Instagram stories and things like that. But as you can imagine, it's hard to find time. I used to do pages in like one afternoon, get it filmed, get it up for you guys. I have never had a page take me 2 weeks to finish, but that's just how things are right now. So that is the update. I hope that kind of helps you guys understand what's going on. Like I said, there are updates over on Instagram if you want to kind of follow all the nitty gritty details. And that's kind of where I'm more active, just because it's a little bit easier over there. It's quick and easy to make posts over there. And so you can kind of follow along there. But we're kind of wrapping up the page on screen. And like I said, if there was anything that I did that you have no idea what I was doing, leave your questions down in the comments. I will answer those. I don't think I really did anything revolutionary. All of these things are things that you've seen in past process videos from me. If you've been watching those, I would highly encourage you to go back and watch older videos if you're missing content from me. The kits might be sold out that are in those videos, but the processes and the techniques, those are all still valid. And so hopefully that will kind of carry you guys through until I can be back here in a more consistent way. But there's a look at all that nitty gritty texture. Not the worst page I've ever done. It was a journey, but we got there. I'm happy with the end result, and I've got some room there where I can journal out a prayer. You can see not a ton of bleed through, but that is it for the video. So leave comments, questions down below. Check out that description box for links to everything that I mentioned. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.